Are pilot cards only for kids? Well, I bet you already know the answer to that question. When people get annoyed that adults are getting all of the pilot cards, I seem to go back to a simpler time when kids were on airplanes and they're invited to the cockpit, got to meet the pilot, were given a souvenir, and then they were asked if they liked movies about gladiators.
We have a visitor.
Hello. Hi. Joey, we have something here for our special visitors. Would you like to have it?
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Sure. You ever been in a cockpit before?
No, sir, I've never been up in a plane before.
You like movies about gladiators?
I mean, I can understand the frustration of kids not being able to get cards because adults had gotten them all. Okay, so a couple quick points. Pilots are smart enough that they can hold back cards for kids if they want to. But adults are the ones that are paying for the plane tickets, so yeah. But what are the airlines saying about who these cards are for? On Delta's website, they say the collection honors Delta's milestone that is sure to captivate customers and collectors alike. So, it doesn't mention kids. I mean, that could be anyone, right? But collectors, I usually think of adults when I think of a aviation collector. It goes on to say, this simple yet impactful interaction between our pilots and customers elevates and enriches the flight experience. So, experience between pilots and customers. I don't think that's necessarily talking about kids, even though it can be kids as well. Okay, let's talk about Southwest Airlines. On their website, it says trading cards are a way to spark conversation and connection with fellow customers. The cards are a unique keepsake for aviation enthusiasts. Again, aviation enthusiasts, I don't usually think of kids, but I'm sure it's can be for both. So on the Hawaiian Airlines website, it says in this article that customers can request cards, and then our youngest guests can ask for clippable wings. Seems to imply that the wings are for kids, but the cards are for anyone.
Joey, do you ever hang around the gymnasium?
So apparently the one exception to the rule is Frontier Airlines. They seem to be going against the crowd on what they say on their website. Prior to Christmas of 2025, they released this article. So it says kid focused, and it says kids flying through the end of January can request one of the cards. Also, it says the trading cards are a fun and entertaining way for kids to learn about the airline's plain tail animals.
Joey, have you ever been in a Turkish prison?
So, hey, I don't think that Frontier is going to deny giving cards to, adults. They just seem to be the only airline that I was able to find that specifically mentions giving these cards to kids. So what are pilots saying? This discussion in this pilots forum definitely made me laugh. This whole post is entertaining, but I'll just kind of read some of the highlights. So he asks the SOP for handing out cards. He states 80% are adults asking for cards and that they sounded entitled. He goes on to say that they should only be for special occasions or just passengers on their planes, the ones that they're actually flying. Lighten Up Francis was the response, and then states that they were meant to create a buzz around the brand and that it's working. Guy number 3 says that when he is low on cards, he reserves them for kids. Well said. I agree 1,000% with guy number 3. Some of the replies were pretty refreshing and pretty comical. This next guy actually references internal communication, stating it's an opportunity to have a genuine interaction with customers. That's not necessarily a direct quote from the internal communication, but probably a good summary of it. So speaking of creating a genuine interaction, I think about the great Captain Denny. Following 9/11, the now retired United pilot Denny Flanagan was one of the first to give out pilot cards. On video, he can be seen giving trading cards out to all passengers, adult and kids alike. Captain Denny said, I created them in 2002 and just had the Boeing 757 and the Boeing 767 cards made for my customers. My thought in creating them was to engage as many customers as I can. Other pilots saw them and kept asking me to make them for the whole fleet. It was his goal to engage with passengers in a post 9/11 world. He knew people didn't enjoy being cramped, traveling, waiting in line at the airport, and after 9/11, maybe being a little nervous about flying. He created a legacy of pilot cards and undoubtedly helped shape the hobby that is going as strong as ever. So who are the cards for? Certainly the answer may vary from pilot to pilot. I don't fault pilots for having an opinion. First and foremost, I want my pilot to not crash. If they're nice to kids, if they smile, if they have cards in their pocket, well, that's secondary. What are your thoughts? Drop a comment and safe travels.